All right, Charlie, let's check out a little of your run here at Stratton and the first run. GS, obviously we crashed down below. Had a similar issue in the second run, so wasn't the best day, but there's some good turns going on here. I think there's some things we can work on, though. You might be wondering kind of, well, where was I? How was I doing before the mishap? And using this app, I can see from this gate where I got you up against the ultimate winner of the race, and from this gate, which is just off the pitch, is off that big fall away sweeping under gate. Whether it's a quarter of the way down, but from here to just cresting the last little pitch where you fell underneath that took you 8 seconds more. So extrapolate it out, maybe he would have got you by 10 seconds and therefore around 20th place. But I think you can close the gap, and let's see what we can. Maybe we can figure something out to help you do that. One thing that he really does well is really moves forward and then inside the turn. He came through the transition. He got his hips up over the boots, and he really dove in. He's got yeah. So he's got inclination here and really dives into the turn, to the center of the arc. Produces some pretty good angles. You can see level shoulders, feet well out from underneath them. You're a little more cautious there. Not really producing those solid angles. I mean, you can see him here, that, and here's a little more like this. And sorry for the poor quality of the camera, but let's get it down here where we can see a little closer. Well, he took a tighter line. I do think he pinched this off. I don't necessarily think he needed to do that, and he has not as much direction, but he took an aggressive line. I'm not suggesting you do that. He does produce angles, and we could probably take a little more diving into the turn here and produce a little more angle than that. So because he produces those angles, he can really, make a turn in a shorter distance. So he'll come in, intersect rise lines still with the skis pointing, kind of away from the panel, but really bring shape back quickly because he rolls them up pretty high. The angles produce a lot of pressure, and he really pressures the outside ski. So you can see, he's much lower in the rise line. He intersects rise line much lower. So his skis are in the fall line more. You're coming across the hill, and he's going a little bit more down the hill in the fall line. So you're traveling more distance. Didn't really produce much high edge angle up there, so kind of skidding the top of the turn, scrubbing speed. He came in here and he rolled them up and really stood on them, and they came around pretty quick right in there. You're scrubbing away, and then you engage them down in here. So we really got to work on rolling both skis up at the top of the turn more, high edge angle platform, but of course then push against the outside ski. Again, he takes a much tighter line. It's not as if he's going direct at it, because he gets himself outside rise line and brings shape back with direction done. Hit a little bump there and fell to the inside, but you can see you're taking a much higher and rounder line, and again, kind of, you can see the spray. Watch the spray off of your skis, top of the turn. Look at all that spray. Let's watch him at the top of the turn. Not much spray. All right, very little spray throughout the entire turn, and you got a whole lot. So obviously you're skidding. You know, if you look at this here, you know what? It was a little bit chattery here. Watch first your outside leg, chattering away. Now watch the inside, also chattering. What does that mean? Man, we got weight on both feet, both legs. So skiing two-footed. I remember I told you that after Willard, because I could see it. Same thing from behind as you were going down, both legs chattering away. So we got to be, you know, committed and all the weight on the outside ski. Again, you can see him really diving in, but still getting direction done by the gate. You're taking a much wider approach. Now you're both up, sort of in the same position here, right? Just, you know, you had to take a much wider, rounder line to get there, and you know, right now he's better. We're trying to get to that point, so easier said than done for sure. But you know, what can we do? Well, in training, we could play with that line. You know, you can see right here, you're well outside rise line, bringing shape back. Generally, we like that. He's much tighter when he dives in, produces some angles, and pretty much exits on the same line you're on. He was able to get there with a whole lot less distance traveled. All right. If you come down here, you get certainly a better line now as we're approaching on the flat, which makes some sense. He's obviously very tight. He's dropped his apex. You know, where the most direction, turn direction is done onto the panel, which makes sense. On the flatter where it's direct, we don't need to bring as much shape back. We can have half the turn below, half the turn below, you know, above, half turn below. But when he needs to, he brings shape back right there. It's a bigger turn. You know, so he got himself outside rise line, brought shape back here. Nice strong angulated position, gave his feet room. Catch him up to you. So, you know, I don't know. I can't really see what happened here. What we do know is you're grabbing the tuck right there, heading over the last little pitch to the red. There's a pretty big turn still. So I don't know. I mean, he does not do that. He is not grabbing a tuck yet. Hand to the outside. He's going to wipe the counter there. We see him come out eventually in his tuck right there. You got in your tuck and don't know what happened, but sometimes hard. If it's a big turn down there, which that first one was, sometimes the tuck turn is difficult. He eventually came out, but you can see crash there, taking out the panel. on the ground. So in any event, what to work on? You know, committing more to the outside ski, skiing more outside ski to outside ski. You ski a little two-footed. You know, diving into the arc a little bit more. We got to move forward and inside more, and really taking it down the hill. Try to get, you know, which will help you get better angles, feet out from underneath us, really generate a higher edge platform. You know, he's making some really short, powerful arcs, and that's what we want to do. Our goal is to move our line down a little bit, meaning intersect rise line a little bit closer to the panel, but still being able to bring the shape back and finish tight to the panel with direction. That's the key. We've got to finish, you know, and when it's offset or steep, tight to the panel with direction, and try to figure out how, you know, how low can we start that in order to finish there. And that's something we got to work on in training. Start with a higher line, bring it down a little bit more, and see if we can finish in the same spot. So let's try those things. I think we can definitely close the gap to him in the next GS at Stratton in a few weeks. Let's get it work.